Hi my friends, it's Melanie with Melanie Smith Stamps, and today we are playing with some of the Spellbinders club kits from this month, and we're going to focus on tips and tricks on how to assemble the small little pieces in your die kits. Now, this has been something that was brought up to my attention that, how can we make this a little easier? Well, I'm going to point out some special tools that you should have in your toolkit because the tools make all the difference. So trying to do all this by your hands and your fingers and just glue is a little tricky, but if you have the right tool and you find what works for you, then the job becomes simple. So I'm going to point that all out to you, but before we get started, I want to let you know today is the 6th, which means new club members can go ahead and sign up today for any of the clubs. Now remember, each of the clubs are available individually, or the whole caboodle, which is all 10 clubs, is available at a 60% discount, and that is called the Deluxe Caboodle. You do get a free birthday cake die set in that caboodle. All those links are down in my visual supply list down below, and the only other thing I want to let y'all know is that for anyone that is current subscribers, you do get early access for the new November release. So check that out on the website as well. There is early access for what is coming soon products. So check that out because you can actually order them today. Okay, so we are going to build our little alligator. Now I have cut him from some specialty card that I created with some powders. You see the shimmery powders and sprays and all that good jazz. This was just a piece I had left over, and I thought, well, I'm just going to use it up and die cut from it. So I thought that looked like an alligator. So I've got that, and I die cut his little spines from some glitter card because it's always fun to add a little sparkle, So we're going to add that on. And I always find it useful to have some sort of container to hold all my little die cut pieces. And I always die cut everything first before I start assembling. And you can do that, or you could also use a sticky mat to hold your pieces. Like this is a waffle flower sticky mat. Altenew also carries one. And your pieces will actually stick to them so they don't slide around. But I personally like keeping them all together in a container. These are the containers that Spellbinders carries, the CraftStash, and this is actually one container. So this is the lid that I have the pieces in, and the bottom of the container here. So I've got the little die cuts in the lid, and then I've got our card pieces that we're going to build our card with in the actual container. And everything can go together in it when we're done. So for tools purposes, I've got the very important, this is probably this and this are probably your two most important tools. Your reverse tweezers. They hold on to pieces so that you have 3 hands. Because this holds on to the piece, then you have this hand, then you have this hand. So this is very, very handy. You want to make sure you have one of these. This is a pickup tool. You have a pokey tool on one side, and you have a wax tip on the other. Now this is the Gina K version. They come in all different versions from depending on which company you shop with. I believe I got this one on scrapbook.com. But I know Simon Says Stamp sells them. Gina K, of course, sells them. Lots of the different stores sell this one. But all of the companies pretty much have one that looks similar to this. This is the style probably that I would recommend, though. You also have this style here that I've liked. I mean, there's lots of styles on the market, but these are the two that I've had the most luck with. I've tried them all. So this is one that the Spellbinders website carries. It's a little pricier, and the tip works really well, but I really don't care for this end. It doesn't have a pokey tip. It has like a flat tip, and I think it's for rhinestones, for placing rhinestones, but I'm not exactly I don't know. I think this comes undone. I don't use this end. So this is the end that I like, and that's for picking up the jewels and the pieces and stuff. So you can come in here and you can just pick up your piece like so. It just picks it up and puts it down. So that's what makes these little tools so handy. So you want a pickup tool for sure. You don't need both, but just one of those pickup tools. Your reverse tweezers, those are reverse. This is optional, depending on what tweezers you like. These are a fine tip tweezer. You may see me use that. And of course, I always use a tiny pair of scissors when I use tiny pieces. And then glue. So my favorite glues are Nuvo and Barely Art. These are my two that I use almost all the time. And my preference is to have it in the Precision or the My Sweet Petunia glue press. This is simply got a stand, and this bottle, the smaller version, is in here. It comes with two bottles, an empty one and a full one, so that you can put your favorite adhesive inside it if you want to. And then when this is in here, you don't have to have the pin right here. So you know these fine tip glue tips, you always have to have the pin in there. You don't have to have a pin in here because there's a rubber stopper right here inside. So the gun or the press goes right down here and sits on your desk. So as long as it's sitting on your desk in this position, you don't have to put a lid on it. You just keep it in the holster. And that's that. So that's what I like about it. You can do the same thing with this, though. You just need to make sure you keep your pin active, you know. So anyways, so that's what we're using while we're building. So I'm going to go ahead and start and show you just a little bit of where my head is here. Now, when I'm doing the larger pieces, I do most of that by hand. And here I'm going to be just doing his eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue on his eyes, and you just need a little bit. But I am going to go ahead and use my wax tip here. And actually, because this is a larger piece, I can just come down here and pick it up. Put it right behind its eyes, like so. Hold that for a second or two. And then he's got his little eyeballs back there. Isn't that great the way Spellbinders just creates the pieces to fit perfectly? Isn't that adorable? Okay, then this is a little tricky here. I realized that this guy has teeth. So I'm going to do the same type of thing, and I'm going to add my glue right along here. And then, and look what I just did. You see I just laid that there? Wrong. Put it there. You'll get better results. So take this right here and just line it up like so. Give it a little press like so. You can maneuver it for a couple seconds there if you want to get it in place any easier. There you go. His little teeth. I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. And it'd be easier if I take it out. You can hear my little Lola walking all over the house. She has been napping all afternoon and evening, and now she's up and walking around. I just took her outside, but that doesn't mean she's not going to tell us that she needs to go back out. You know, you guys know that, you dog people. Okay, so I'm lining up his second set of teeth here. So I'm using two pieces on the top. I'm just giving that a good press down. So he's now got two sets of teeth. And I think that's the way you're supposed to do it. But I wanted to see, I cut a third one. I just wanted to see what this would look like if I actually lined one up down there. I think I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to cut it off here at the bottom. You're not supposed to, but hey, live to be different, you know? So I'm going to put some glue down here. And I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to line it up exactly where I want it. And I'm going to get this, whoops, I'm going to get this right so that the teeth are between the teeth. Just because I can. So then I'm going to press it down real good. Give it a good press. Maneuver it if I need to a little bit. Okay. And then once that dries really good, look at that. Is that not adorable? Once that dries really good, I will take some fine scissors and just cut that right there. You see, it's not meant to go on the bottom, but I thought it would be adorable to have his chompers down there. So, okay, and then last but not least, we've got his scales. And since this again is a big piece, I'm going to go ahead and do it without the tools. Just showing you. That's why I chose some little pieces and some big pieces. Because these ones kind of just line up. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up here. It's good to have a glass mat under you so that you can just press up against it like that. Just hold it down for a few seconds. And then you can pick it up and you have his little scales. See that? Super easy. Adorable too. Now on his tie, I actually have made two. Now this is glitter or glimmer. Yeah, foil paper. And foil paper doesn't lift up as easy as regular paper. But what I did here is I cut two of these, and I'm going to glue one on top of the other. And my reasoning for this, and this is something I do on occasion, just to give something a little more detail, is I will layer it on top of another piece. And it does not have to be the same color, though it is better if it is similar so that it doesn't show around the edges. So like putting white under this might be a little more obvious. So I did choose black instead of white. But then this gives the bow tie just a little more thickness here. So when I go to actually, let me show you here with the tweezers. The tweezers can be your third hand. So on this little piece, I can hold it, put glue on either side, and then decide here, where are we going to put this? Are we going to put it up here around his neck? Or in the picture of their picture, they have it down here. They have it here in the sample, but I kind of like the idea of having it up here. Because this, well, I guess the neck is probably like right there. So why don't we put it right there? So we'll put it right there, and he'll have a bow tie on. And then our frog is going to have a glitter shirt on. So here is our alligator. Isn't he stylish? Okay, so we can sit him up here to dry. And like I said, I'm going to cut that little piece off. So then for the car, this little car has two layers. These are the bigger layers, okay? Then the body has, he has two cheeks. This is one cheek that went flying. And I've made his cheeks glitter. And this little piece here is his eyes that goes behind there. And then these are all pieces to the car. And then this is his shirt. It's a glitter, so it's a little heavier. yeah. This is his little shirt. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the car base together first. And actually, before I do this and hook it on, I think what I'm going to do is give us a little light bulb here and a little brake light there. So let me grab a couple markers. I thought this would just be quick and easy. We'll give him a headlight here. And we'll give him a tail light here. Look at that. I think that's all we'll need. So when we take this here, let me add a little bit more glue on it. That dries pretty quickly. So we'll just add some excess. And then when we add this on here, I'm thinking that the tail light and the headlight will show. Ha ha ha. Look at that. So cute. Just a little extra you can do. You never feel, never hesitate to embellish or do little details on your cars or your little dies or whatever. Now these little guys here are your wheels. Now one thing I want to point out when you're dealing with dies, I don't know if you'll be able to see this in the video, but I noticed I myself made mistakes in a video a week or two ago, and I didn't catch it until I actually took pictures of the sample afterwards. I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but a die, when you cut a die out, it's smooth on one side, and I know most of you will know this. It's smooth on one side, and it's kind of rough on the other, and that's because the die itself gives it like a beveled edge on top. So when you're picking these up and gluing them down, remember that that side is like that. So you pick up the smooth side and glue down the rough side. So I'm going to put some glue where those wheels go, and I'll just look and see. I can see the indentation there. And then put those wheels right there in place, like so. Then I can also do the same thing with the seat right here. We can put, see how this tool makes this easy? We can put this seat right in place there. Okay. And then we have a steering wheel here. So the steering wheel is going to come up behind and be in this area. Now I'm going to wait until we get the frog in there so we know exactly where we want that. So let's grab our little froggy. We'll move this down here and get his little eyes. And we'll do the eyes the same way as we did them before. We'll go ahead and I will put the glue back here, like so. And then I'm just going to line these up. Since this is a larger piece, I'm just going to line these up and let the glue pick up my piece back here. That way I can get my fingers behind and I can maneuver this exactly in place where I want it and give it a little press. Okay. Like that. Isn't he cute? Then the same way I did earlier, you see the little indentions right there where they want you to put the cheeks. Spellbinders dies a lot of times have the indentions there. They tell you exactly where to put the dies. So I'm just going to add my glue right in those circles. And that way I can use my pickup tool to pick up the cheeks and put them right in place. And then if you need to move it around, that's what the die here is for, or that's what the pokey tool's for. And you can push it down in place. When you got it where you want it, you can press it. So there's his cheeks. Then same thing here. This is a shirt, fits exactly in place here. It's the exact shape of the body. So I'm going to go ahead, because I know this L is there, and I know it comes out and covers that arm. So I'm going to go ahead, and this might be too big. No, it isn't too big for the paper, or for this pickup tool. It was too big for that one, but it's not too big for this one. Go ahead and turn this around, make sure I've got it exactly where I want it. Press it down a little bit. There we go. There's a little excess glue right here, so I'm just going to wipe that. Wipe that. And we got our little frog. Quite easy. So then we can put him right down in here in the seat. And to do that, we'll go ahead and just put a line there. And like we did the eyeballs, we'll just lay him in here like so, because he's sitting in that seat, the seat right here. So put him right there in the seat. And then we're going to go ahead and put this in here like, whoops, so. And remember, this little circle is the glue. That's where the glue goes. And actually, you might be able to, no, I'd rather use this one. You can use whichever tweezers you like, but I like using the reverse tweezers because I can let go when it's in the right place. So like, I'm going to put this between his hands, like so. Once I get it where I want it, I'm going to let go, and then I can just push down and let that glue catch. See that? So that his hands are on it. Then I can actually come in here if I want to, and with this fine tip, go ahead and just put a dab of little glue under there so that he can actually be holding on to that steering wheel. There is our little car. So now we have a car and an alligator. So now we need a card. I also did a sentiment. So for this project, I actually mostly used the Gina K Designs pickup tool, the reverse tweezers, and my precision glue press. Those were my 3 most used tools. I wanted to show you the rest just because these other ones are ones people like to use, but these 3 are my mostly used tools when I'm creating with die cuts. So I hope you find that helpful. Now I'm going to go ahead and explain the rest of the card for those that are interested in seeing the card built. I do have some of the stitching and the stenciling done ahead of time just to speed up the process. But I wanted you to see my design idea, and also, so they're each going their own way, and you'll see what I mean here in just a minute. This is an A2 background. I'm going to put this layer on here like so. It's really handy to stand up when you're doing that. Okay. Then for this one, I want this set in. So I'm going to glue this one straight inside. Like that. Look at that. Isn't that fun? The different layers. Now, for the clouds, this is the inside layer of the stitch die of the month. And what I did here is I cut myself a cloud die. And this is from the Color Block Cloudscape. And all I did here was lay this down here, take my blender brush with some ink and ink. Then you rearrange this a different direction. Here, da 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 da. Then change it here, da 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 da. Here, da 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 da. And here, you know, and you just keep moving it around, da 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 da. And then I filled in the top. And that is what got me my clouds. So I just wanted to not keep you here all day, but still explain how I easily did my little clouds there. But I wanted this to be a complete scene, so I went ahead and did some little fun clouds to go along with my scene. So we'll go ahead and lay those on the inside layer. And then Mr. Car is going to be going that way. Mr. Alligator, let me trim off his little thing here. And when you're trimming, I should be using my small scissors, but that's all you have to do. But when you're trimming, let me show you with the small scissors. It'll be easy for you to see, and it'll be easier for you to control. When you're trimming, trim at an angle like this, okay? Because when you do that, you'll have less likely of a chance of cutting your actual design here. You also will have less likely of a chance of seeing that white right there. So that's just a do as I say, not as I did type of moment. So I'm going to put that. He's going to walk on the top layer. He's going to drive behind on the back layer. Like so. So I'm going to go ahead and put him down back here. Atari was like the first video game when I was a kid. So some of you may be older than me, some of you may be younger than me. I don't know, but I used to love the game Frogger. And it had alligators and it had the frog. So in this case, the frog is actually in the car and the alligator is outside. The other way, the alligator was in the road and the frog was jumping across the street. So it's kind of funny, actually. Okay, so now we're going to put Mr. Alligator there. So I'm going to go ahead and use some of this extra strip here. I think I can put a little of this along the top. Let's see, that might show. Let me see if I can just put it along the top here. I just want to give the top some support. There we go. Okay, that's what I was after. So we will go ahead and glue him. We want to glue his feet down and his nose down, and then we'll have that back there. So let's go ahead and put some glue on his feet and on his nostrils. And then we will have this portion here to give him sticky support on the back side. And I will lay him right there. Look at there. And then I've got, it's your birthday. So we'll go ahead and use a little more of that strip that we had cut earlier. And we need to get in the middle mostly, because we're going to put it on that corner. So I'm just going to trim some of this down, and we will put it here for support in the middle. Because remember, you can always cut your adhesive down. Get all that done. And then I'll add some glue here to the edge. here and here. And we will lay this across here. There we go. Okay guys, that is our large die of the month and our stitching club of the month, with our BetterPress there in the month also coming in with the sentiment, but I glimmered it instead of BetterPressed it. So I hope this tutorial using those 3 favorite tools, mainly these 3, my 3 favorite, have helped you and given you a little inspiration on when you see these layering dies, that you're not so intimidated by them, because they really do make cards have that wow factor. And if children's, themes aren't your thing, that's okay. Think of the florals, think of the different holiday die sets, think of all the different other ones that are out there. They're already in your stash. And use these tips and techniques, and hopefully that'll help you get more use out of the stash you already have. So for now, I'm going to say bye-bye, and I hope you have an amazing day.